Check ultimateguard.com and find premium quality products for your favorite trading card game. Check video description or visit Ultimate Guard for more.
How's it going, guys? Once again, welcome back to Pokemon TCG Center. In today's video, we'll be looking for one cool budget deck in standard format. This is going to be Bisharp, Galvantula, Eevolution deck. But first of all, if you're new to the channel, make sure to check ccgcastle.com for the new Guardian Racing cards. You can pre-order them, and of course you can also trade your old bulk for the sealed Guardian Racing booster box. It's available worldwide, so make sure to check my video description. Today I'm gonna play with Bisharp, Galvantula Auxiliary, and Eevolutions. As you can see it, the main attacker is gonna be, of course, our Bisharp. So with Retaliate, we can strike for like 90 if one of our Pokemon were knocked out at turn before, which means 90 with one of Eevolutions, that can be 180 with Professor Kukui, 200. Still not enough for the one-hit knockout against some Pokemons like, let's say, Yveltal, Darkrai with the Fighting Fury Belt, even Volcanion with Fighting Fury Belt, even Lurantis, but hey, still, it's one prize for two prizes, and the Bursting Balloon can actually help us in exchanging those remaining damage counters. Since the Bisharp is Metal and the Darkness Pokemon with one of 3 evolutions, we can actually strike for 5 different weaknesses, and with Galvantula we can actually add one more weakness type, actually Grass, so you can go for like 6 different weaknesses. The cool thing about Galvantula is also that you can double thread to the bench for like 60. 2 of your opponent Pokemons, and actually weakness is going to be applied. 17 Pokemons, 36 trainer cards and 7 energies, 2 Eevees, 1 Flareon, 1 Jolteon and 1 Vaporeon, so 3 evolutions. I decided to go with the Eevee from the Ancient Origin simply because it had 1 retreat cost. 3 line of the Pawniard and a Bisharp, and 2 line of the Joltik and Galvantula. Good thing about Joltik is that he actually have free retreat. 1 line of the Remoraid and Auxiliary for that Abyssal Hand and Draw Power support. From the item cards, as you can see, I'm running pretty much very, I don't know how to say, very normal line. So just 4 copies of Level Ball and 4 copies of Timer Ball. So with the Level Ball and Timer Balls, with Level Ball I can search my deck for any basic Pokemon here that you can see on the list, and also in addition to that I can search my deck for some of the evolutions like Galvantula, Vaporeon, Jolteon, Flareon, Auxiliary, everything except for the Bisharp. With the Timer Ball, of course, you can flip 2 coins, and for each heads in the coin flip you can search your deck for the evolution Pokemon and put it into your hand. Pretty cool. 1 Eco-Arm, simply because with the Eco-Arm we can recycle back Bursting Balloons and Float Stones, which is very important. 3 copies of Trainer's Mails and 4 V-Seekers. That's it. From the Stadium cards, I decided to go with the Suntlab because Suntlab is the best card here. You can benefit with the Suntlab simply because you can prevent your opponent from being able to play abilities. Supporter line is very interesting line. As you can see, I'm not running Wally, simply because of the fact that running Wally might be good, but still, I don't know, maybe with Tapu Lele it's much better, since he can search deck turn 1 for supporter card, but Wally sometimes can be good, sometimes not. We have those Bursting Balloons, so we're just gonna let our opponent to knock out one of our Pokemon so we can attack with the Retaliate for the weakness. So that's the main purpose of the deck. If we clutch for the Wally turn 1, I don't know how good that would be, but even with that Wally, you would need at least 2 copies of Wally so you can have maybe faster turn 1 setup, but I don't prefer that in this deck. 1 copy of Brock's Grid, so you can shuffle 6 in any combination Pokemon or basic energies. Since this is very huge Pokemon deck list, Brock's Grid is much better than the Super Road, but also it's not EX deck, so we can actually afford to play Brock's Grid. Single Hex Maniac, so I can shut down abilities until the end of next turn. Pretty cool card, same as the Lysander. In addition to that, I'm running 1 copy of Pokemon Ranger because against Glacian I'm not gonna have good times, simply because all of my attackers are actually evolutions. But good thing about Glacian is that Bisharp is Metal type and he can one-hit knockout with Retaliate Glacian without too many problems. 1 copy of Teammates, 1 copy of Professor Kukui, and of course 7 Draw supporters. 3 of them are gonna be N, and 4 of them are gonna be Professor Sycamores. Five tool cards, five tool cards, as I mentioned, 3 of them are bursting balloons for extra 6 damage counters if our opponent decides to attack one of our Pokemon with bursting balloon attached, 2 copies of Flowstone, so Flowstone can provide us free retreat cost, and 7 darkness energy, so we can have that free retreat available. Overall, I feel how this is pretty cool budget deck to play it in a standard format, simply because it can counter those very popular decks in a current meta for the weakness. But sometimes you can actually start pretty bad and with dead draws, and after that you can find yourself in a huge trouble. But overall, I really like it, and I always enjoy playing with decks like this. So if you're looking for any of these cards, you can also find them on ccgcastle.com, and with TCG Center 5 code you can get 5% discount on your first purchase, so you can also check that. The link is in my video description. If you're new to the store, you can create an account, and you can also collect some tokens or coins, which can later be traded for the real cards, of course, so that's pretty cool. Let's do some game test so you can actually see this deck in action, so see you in the game. Alright, so let's call the heads. Taking a closer look to my opening hand, there is no basic Pokemon. Looks like I'm gonna play against grass deck, so it might be a Mega, it might be Vespiquen, Vileplume, the CGI. Everything is possible. However, as long as I will have my Flareon in play, I can counter my opponent without too many problems. So 2 level balls, timer ball, and bursting balloon, and the Bisharp in my opening hand. That's pretty good. That's pretty good opening hand, to be honest. I can set up 1 Eevee, 1 Pawniard on my bench, then I can go with my bursting balloon and N. Oh, even better, I'm gonna top deck Eevee. So level ball for something like Joltik. Level ball for something like a Pawniard. How many Floatstones I have available? 2 of them. Alright, that's more than fair enough. 1 N for 6 new cards. There's just a Floatstone, no sign of the energy, but it's okay. At least, you know, I can retreat my Remoraid to my Pawniard and pass my turn. Next turn I can have Bisharp, I can have Flareon, plus Sycamore for 7. I can't ask for more. There's 1 Forest of Giant Plants, of course. Oh, there is gonna be Arish and Moralul and 1 Fomantis, which means there's going to be also Lurantis GX and a Trainer's Mail for my opponent. Alright, Trainer's Mail for nothing, and the last card in his hand, it's going to be Professor Sycamore for 7. Alright, that hand was just pretty sweet. It was very nice. There's 1 Lurantis GX. Let's see what else he can play here. There's another Fomantis. He already attached energy. That's gonna be 1 Acrobike. Since he already attached energy to his Lurantis, without Escape Rope or Flowstone, he can't retreat that Shaymin. Most importantly for me here is the fact that my opponent right now still don't have his Vileplume in play. Of course, you really want to have as many energies in your disco pile so you can power them up with your flower supply. Also, good thing about my Galvantula here is the fact that I can snipe for 62 of my opponent Pokemons on the bench. So that's even more stronger here. This is gonna be just Sycamore for 7. Well, there is another Joltik and Artillery. I have 1 level ball, 1 Trainer's Mail. Trainer's Mail for a Floatstone. Alright, let's just do that. Floatstone, let's go with 1 level ball, and level ball is gonna be for Galvantula, of course. So I just need to hit 1 energy here, and with 1 energy, this is gonna be So tough challenge for my opponent to recover from this position. So no sign of the energy, of course. Story of my life. Will I retreat or just leave my bishop in the active position for now? Let's just keep him active. Let's just keep my bishop active. Next turn, I can timer ball, maybe get... I should actually timer ball this turn, just in case of the... No, there's a trainer's mail for switch. Okay, 2 energies, you can definitely use that. CORSAIR GX, one hit knock on my Bisharp. But after that I can go for like 180. That's not going to be good for him for sure. However, there's a second grass energy and 1 copy of N. So I'm just gonna need my Bisharp and energy card so I can go for the 180. So far I don't see any of these 2 cards, but I still don't know if he will go with that CORSAIR GX. There's a Floatstone for the Oddish and another Lorantis GX on his bench. I was short for the energy card and I can't describe how bad I feel about that, because right now I would have actually 4 prize cards instead of the 6, just being able to knock out his Molarul and Oddish on the bench, and also remove the threat from the item block. But how the things going on right now, without CORSAIR GX he can't knock out my Bisharp, and he decided to go with the Flower Supply, which is even better for me, of course. Simply because I can start to spread my damage with my Galvantula on the bench. So let's see, timer ball, 1 tails, 2 tails. As expected. I didn't expect more than that. This is gonna be 1 Silent Lab, and more than that, since I have my Brock's Grid in my deck, I'm gonna go with another Sycamore for 7. Finding energy is the most important thing here, and I didn't get energy card. But I still can go with my Abyssal Hand. So it's not the end of the world. Timer ball, 1 heads, 1 tails. Let's grab 1 more Bisharp, just in case. Just in case of the knockout, I can have another one in play. Trainer's Mail. Trainer's Mail for level ball, which means I can even grab another Galvantula and set it down to my bench. But where are my energy cards? I have 6 of them and I still didn't draw a single one. So hopefully after I play those bursting balloons, I'm gonna get what I'm looking for, and basically I'm looking for the energy card. And finally the last card was the energy card, and I can start to use my double threat and I can knock out my opponent. Molarul and Oddish on the bench, which is very important. I can take 2 prize cards here, but most importantly is the fact that if my opponent decides to knock out my Galvantula next turn, actually this turn, he's gonna take 6 damage counters back, which means I can 1-hit knockout his Lorantis back with my Bisharp. So only card that can actually help him is gonna be Lysander to my Flareon on the bench for 120 with the Solar Blade. But then still I can... yeah, that's gonna happen. But then still I can play my Brock's Grid, so I can recycle back my Flareon line into my deck. As expected, Lysander to my Flareon and Solar Blade for the knockout, 120. Yeah, 120. Let's go with Galvantula for now. This is going to be just 1 copy of N, since I desperately need my Brock's Grid, and of course I didn't find it. At least I can Abyssal Hand for 1 more card before I use my double thread, and there's gonna be just another energy card. So double thread, 6 damage counters to his Shaman and 3 damage counters to his benched Lorantis. Which means next turn probably Shaman is gonna be knocked down with my another Galvantula. And then the only threat is gonna be that Lurantis GX. So there's a trainer's mail for another Lysander. Alright, so I'm gonna need also Eco Arm here, so I can recycle my bursting balloons. It's gonna be very important. Of course, Solar Blade for the knockout. Which means... let's go with the Bishop since he have for a retreat cost. There's a Timer Ball as the top deck, but that's not good. What I can do here is I can at least play my V Seeker for Sycamore and go for 7. Let me see something. Timer Ball. Beazle Hand for 1. Can I get Brock's Grid? Nope, but I can find my Professor's Kukui for 2. Teammates. If I attack right now for like 110, you can heal some damage counters off. It's still a long way to go for my opponent. So I'm gonna retaliate for now. And this is gonna be for 110. This is gonna be for 110. So basically next turn I can knocks out his Lurantis with my V Seeker for Kukui once again if he knocks out one of my Pokemons in play. Because I can go for 110 and he can heal. No, he can heal 3 damage counters. That means I'm gonna be short for 20 more. Now I miscalculate this move. That's not good. I should better go with my double threat for the knockout. Because if right now he actually clutch for the Lysander and knocks my Galvantula on the bench, I don't know how that's gonna be good. So I'm still desperately needing that Flareon and that Brock's Grid and that Eco Arm, and there's one copy of N, so at the end he just decided to go with the N. Looks like he really wants to set that Vileplume in play, but I have teammates. I have access to my teammates, so at least I have ability to get any 2 cards from my deck. So that's 120. 3 damage counters can be healed, so he have 80, and I can go for like 110. That's 190. That's not enough, not even close enough for the knockout. Just a Pokemon Ranger as a top deck. This is like a freaking nightmare here. Energy card, a Beazle Hand for 2. I might still get Brock's Grid. No sign of the Brock's Grid. Alright, teammates for the Brock's Grid and for the Timer Ball. But I will have just next turn Brock's Grid. So yeah, I'm gonna need something better and bigger here, which means I'm gonna strike for now with my double threat. He's shaming on the bench for the weakness. And take 2 prize cards. I might get lucky and pull the Lysander. Just a Hex Maniac. Alright, still I have plenty of time to set up my Eevees on the bench. Still I'm gonna have plenty of time to set up my Eevees on the bench, so there is one Acrobike. Will there be a Vileplume? I don't know. I didn't even play my V Seeker yet. For that teammates maybe once again. It's a very close matchup, and I see that Vileplume in his discard pile, but I still don't see the sign of the Glump, which means Revita Laser can help him to get that Vileplume in play, but there's a Lysander for my Bisharp. Alright, Lysander for my Bisharp, Solar Blade for like 120. Some damage counters to be healed, of course. Time to promote my Artillery. 2 more prize cards. I'm not sure if I'm gonna be able to do that. Not sure. Nope. Looks like I'm not gonna be able to win this match. I mean, Brock's Grid can right now recycle something like Flareon, 2 Eevees, 2 Bisharps, 1 Pawniard. Then if I get lucky I can grab 1 Bisharp, of course, but just if I get lucky, and I didn't get lucky, so that's not gonna happen. And more than that, I can't even Abyssal hand here, which means I can't even have opportunity to get my Eevee on the bench. So all I can do here is just, you know, use my double threat and spread a couple more damage counters on the bench, but that's just it. I'm gonna lose this matchup. Simply because I was short for Lysander through my entire game. Also that Brox Grid came a little bit too late. So 120 once again, and all I can do is just, you know, promote my Pawniard. It really even doesn't matter anymore, because I can just, you know, play Sycamore for 7. Eco Arm was priced. Eco Arm and my Eco Arm and my... oh, there we go, there's a Flareon. A little bit too late. Little bit too late. Eco Arm and Lysander were priced, and that was just too much, unfortunately. So I can retaliate for 90, but that's not enough. Even if there was a Flare on my bench, I could go just for like 180 and still wouldn't be enough for the knockout. So at the end, again I lost the game, but I don't know. I still feel how the Bisharp is a very good deck. Even if I didn't have luck to win against my opponent in today's video, I still think and feel how this deck is very cool, budget build, in standard format. So anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed watching this video. Make sure to hit the thumbs up. There we go, once again a full deck list. As you can see, that Eco Arm and Lysander both were priced, and I was short for the week 3 against my opponent. So make sure to hit the thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you already didn't. Let me know what you think about this deck in the comments below, so stay tuned for more videos. Till the next time, have a nice day, and goodbye.